Any approach to emotional healing and growth must adhere to certain principles. The first neurological principle is mental focus amplifies and magnifies. What we focus on becomes more important than what we don't focus on. And what we focus on, we're likely to repeat. Neural pathways of repeated focus become physically larger, stronger, and more automatic. That means habituated. The brain constantly forms habits through repetition. Anything you do repeatedly, you'll begin to do automatically. The brain loves habits because they're metabolically cheap. The difference between an intentional behavior, like deciding to pick up the cup of tea, and just doing it automatically, is hundreds of millions of multi-firing neurons. We change the brain through change in focus and repetition. The brain can't do negatives. Don't do or think that doesn't work. You have to tell it what to do, not what not to do. Do or think this. I can't tell you don't be hurt, but I can tell you be self-compassionate, and that will heal you. Emotions are primarily biological. They send action signals to the organs and muscle groups of the body. They motivate behavior. The root of the word emotion means to move. The ancient Greeks used it to move behavior. Today we say motivate behavior. How they feel is less important than what they motivate us to do. We pay too much attention to feelings and not enough to what our emotions are telling us to do and deciding whether we really want to do that, if it's in our long-term best interest. All emotions motivate either approach, avoid, or attack. You want more of something, you want to experience more of it or learn more about it, that's approach. Avoid is you don't want more of it. Or attack is you neutralize the threat or devalue, make something less important, less valuable. The psychology of emotion lies in the meaning we give to them. For instance, I'm damaged because I was abused. Emotional healing creates a more benign meaning. Abuse made me more resilient. I appreciate life more deeply. There's a whole area of research called post-traumatic growth that shows a great many people actually do better after trauma or abuse than people who were not traumatized or abused. And they do better because they give their experience a more benign meaning about themselves. Emotional growth is expanding the boundaries of self, learning more, appreciating more, experiencing more. Empowerment is recognizing your ability to improve your life. After emotional injury, footprints linger on the heart and soul, keeping the injury ever in the present and likely to dominate the future. They take the form of recurring memories laced with painful feelings and a chained heart to prevent future hurt. These typically alternate with anxiety or depression. Worse, they make you into someone you're not. Hurt and chained hearts are not the real you. When hurt, we tend to focus on how bad we feel and who's to blame. Focus on feelings keeps the footprints of injury on the heart and soul simply due to neurological principles. It amplifies and magnifies negative experience and turns maladaptive defenses into habits that run on autopilot, such as hypervigilance, anger, emotional shutdown, or chronic resentment. How to build a healing identity based on self-compassion. That's non-judgmental sympathy for your hurt with focus on healing and improving. Healing identity is a drive to develop benign, efficient ways to stay safe and to flourish, which you can't do with victim identity. It's focused on resilience and strengths, capacity to sympathize with and heal our hurt, and to sympathize with and support the healing of loved ones. We'll stay safe by avoiding those who blame and deny responsibility, because the law of blame is that eventually it's going to turn on the closest person. You'll stay safe by avoiding people who demonize your abuser rather than support or admire your healing and growth. That can be deceptive because an abuser will recognize qualities in your previous abuser that he hates about himself or herself, and they'll really attack and demonize that person. That is an indication that they're likely to be abusive, and you'll see that better with self-compassion. We outgrow victim identity as we build more value, appreciation, humanity, and meaning in our lives. Let's start with some facts about painful memories. One is they're necessary. They're not about the past, and their natural function is to keep us safe in the present. For example, recalling that you burned your finger on a stove makes you more careful when you feel the heat. Remembering past failures motivates learning, attention, and effort now. The difference with betrayal is that it stimulates obsessions. Those are thoughts you can't get out of your mind. And those make us relive the pain again and again. But there's good news. We can recondition the brain to connect painful memories with healing images. Healing images ease pain by shifting focus from loss to value. Who you are, as reflected by your deepest values, becomes more important than what you've suffered. Healing images can be visual, pictures, auditory, that could be music or waves crashing, gentle sounds, birds, or words. The most powerful healing images reflect your deeper values: basic humanity, love, spirituality, appreciation of natural and creative beauty, compassion. To form a conditioned response, repeat the connection of painful memories with healing images 6 times daily over a period of 6 weeks. Once conditioned, each occurrence of the painful memory triggers healing images automatically. Emotions are far more contagious than any known virus. In other words, we get a feel for each other. We respond emotionally and transmit emotion in proximity to someone. It's automatic. When you're near someone, you have a very subtle emotional response, and you're transmitting that. We have continuous low-grade emotional response to everyone we encounter. Everyone we pass on the street has a low-grade emotional response, which they modify and pass on to everyone they encounter. Even the subtlest emotional response passes continuously along the web of emotion. By regarding strangers with respect as valuable people, we raise the likelihood that they'll regard the people they encounter with respect and value. They're likely to work better and love better. We can help in a small way to prevent child abuse or inadvertently facilitate it. When you're disrespectful to someone, that person's not going to be so sweet to their kids when they get home. Try this experiment in well-being. On a crowded street, note the current state of your well-being. Walk down the street thinking everyone you pass is valuable, and then note how you feel at the end of the walk. You should feel better. We send compassion and kindness along the web or download resentment. We can heal emotional hurt by spreading thoughts of compassion and kindness in the web of emotion. How to tell when self-value is too low. You're going to experience resentment or anger, high anxiety, obsessions, thoughts you can't get out of your mind, thinking the same thing over and over, depression, or entitlement. You deserve special consideration. You're superior in some way. So here's the self-value checklist. I take care of my physical health by striving to eat well, eliminate drugs, drink moderately, and sleep well. Those are indicators of high self-value. And if you begin to do more of those things, your self-value will grow. I take care of my psychological health by striving to learn, grow, generate interest, take time for enjoyment, engage with friends, and the most important for self-value is support and nurture family. I respect myself by staying true to my deepest values and respecting others. I prove to myself that I'm worthy of love by feeling compassion, kindness, loving thoughts and behavior. The more we value people, nature, creative works, spirituality, the stronger our self-value grows.